The clock might be ticking for you and you haven't even realized it yet. In this video, you'll get the documents you will need, PGWP requirements, a simple tutorial, and 3 red flags that get international students refused. But before we get into all that, here's something very important that very few international students seem to understand. As you probably know, IRCC states that you have 180 days to submit a postgraduate work permit application from the moment your classes finish. However, imagine there's a timeline. 180 days is the last point you can reach before you lose the ability to apply altogether. But then there is 90 days, and that's the longest you have to change your status inside Canada. From the moment you graduate, you no longer have student status. You have to stop working and either leave Canada to apply from abroad for your postgrad work permit, or apply within that time in order to start working again. And there is another big but. If your study permit loses validity very soon, you'll need to apply for a visitor permit in order to remain in Canada, and you will not be able to work. If you have further questions, I'll have a link in the description below to book a call with me. And now let's dive into the documents you'll need. Valid passport, digital photo, letter of completion. This document is given to you by your school when you finish classes. Final transcript. Your transcript has to say graduation requirements are met. This is extremely important as visa officers will look for this statement. And there is also a few other requirements to apply for a postgraduate work permit. You need to have completed a full-time study program. We'll talk more about part-time status in the end of this video. You need to have studied for at least 8 months. If your program was 2 years or more, you will get a 3-year postgraduate work permit. Your designated learning institution must have been postgrad work permit eligible. You can check this by searching DLI Canada, then selecting province, and checking your school in the right-hand side column. And now it's time for the tutorial. Welcome to the PGWP application tutorial. We're gonna make it step by step. It's going to be as easy and simple as possible. So the first step, you would need to log into your GCKey account. You would have created it to apply for study permit. If you used the help of an immigration consultant or lawyer, then you would need to make an account, which is quite easy. Once you've created an account, you signed in, you need to scroll down and click on apply to come to Canada. Then you scroll down, visitor visa, study or work permit. And then you'll fill out the following questions. What would you like to do in Canada? You'd like to work there because you're applying for a work permit, postgrad work permit. How long are you planning to stay here? You're planning to stay here for more than 6 months. The code that matches the one on your passport. Let's say I'm from China, so I'm going to select China. But again, this is individual, might be different for you. What's your current country territory of residence? If you're in Canada, and most likely you are in Canada, you'll be clicking on Canada. Do you have a family member who's a Canadian citizen or permanent resident? If you do, say yes. If you don't, obviously no. Your date of birth. Again, this is very, very individual, so you need to select whatever applies to you. Click next. Are you a lawful PR of the United States? I'm going to say no, but again, this might be different for you. What's your current immigration status in Canada? Most likely you're a student because you're applying for a postgrad work permit. Do you plan to work on campus? No. Are you a full-time student at a participating post-secondary institution and want to work off campus? The answer is no. Have you recently graduated from a participating Canadian post-secondary institution for which your study permit was full-time and a minimum of 8 months? This one is yes. Is your work an essential part of your studies, co-op or internship? The answer is no. Next. Have you been told by an Immigration Refugee Citizenship Canada office that you were approved in principle for permanent residence? No. Have you submitted a PR resident application in Canada? No. Do you have a written job offer? No. This one, you might have an offer from your employer, so you can say yes to this. But in most cases, if you're applying for a PGWP, it's going to be a no. Next, do you have an official letter from your school that confirms you've completed your study program, as well as a copy of your final transcript? important. You need both. You need this letter and you need transcripts. So you say yes. Without them, you cannot apply. Marital status. This will be individual, but just to make it simpler, I'm going to say never married, single, but you might have a partner. So say married. What's your province or territory? Again, individual. I'm going to say Alberta. And now the results should show you that you're eligible to apply for a postgraduate work permit. So as you can tell, if you scroll down, it says postgraduate work permit in Canada. I'm going to say continue now. So from this moment onward, I'll be answering some questions about my PGWP application to help them make a checklist for me. Do you have official, again, you have to have a completion letter as well as transcript. So I'm going to say yes. The next question. Have you had a medical exam performed by IRCC in the last 12 months? I'm going to say no. Now, if you work or you're planning to work in one of these occupations, you'll need to do a medical exam. I have to say yes, but if you're not planning to work in those, you say no. Just like that, no in this section as well. Next question. Do you want to submit an application for a family member? I'm going to say no, but your case might be different if you have family members. This one is for help. If you need legal support, you would say yes. I'm going to be appointing a representative. In the last 10 years, have you given your fingerprints, biometrics basically, to come to Canada? Most likely you have to get your study permit. Are fees associated? Are you going to be paying? Yes, you'll have to pay your fees. You're not fee exempt. Are you able to make a digital copy of your documents with a scanner or camera? The answer is yes. It has to be yes. Will you be paying for your application fees? To pay online, you can use Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and so on. I'm going to say yes. And now you want to check all of these answers you have provided and go on to submit respective documents to support your claims, everything you said. These documents are right over here. So this is the most important part. There's going to be a form, IMM 5710, and then the rest is very self-explanatory. For example, your transcripts, completion letter, passport, digital photo, very straightforward. You just upload the files over here. That's it. These are optional documents. I recommend you fill out 52, 57. Client information, you can provide a letter of explanation, like a very brief statement saying that I am who I am. So my name, date of birth, I graduated from this study program at this learning institution, and now I intend on getting work experience that I can later implement in my home country, because you're applying for a non-immigrant work permit, meaning you need to prove that your intentions are immigrant. And then once everything was submitted, you can just simply pay for the application and submit it to IRCC. The following information is extremely important. There are several red flags that might cause a refusal. Part-time studies. If at any point in time you were a part-time student, this can cause a refusal. For you to get a complete understanding of what I'm talking about, I interviewed a student that spent over $250,000 on her study program in Canada and was not able to get her postgrad work permit because of this small mistake. To learn more, watch this video up next. Unscheduled breaks. If you decided you're sick of studying or you miss home too much and you took an unscheduled academic break, this will trigger a postgrad work permit refusal. Working full-time during school. If you worked legally, meaning your employer registered you, paid taxes for you, and made direct deposit into your bank account, you were supposed to stay within 20 hours a week during school, and you could have worked full-time only during scheduled academic breaks. Violating this might cause a refusal. Here's some food for thought for you. Now is the time to apply for your postgrad work permit and start working towards your permanent residency. To get PR, you will need to get a high-skilled job. And we recently made a game changer for you to get hired, a cover letter builder. Here's how it works. On the left, you open the job posting you're interested in. On the right, you open the cover letter builder. Tell the builder the company to which you're applying and the role you're applying to. Then simply copy and paste the job description. Within a few seconds, artificial intelligence will generate a custom cover letter for you and you'll get it sent to your inbox. And you can repeat it as many times as you wish. And this is perfect for you if you want to save hours applying for jobs and if English is not your first language. It's already been used by my community members and they're loving it. And as a cherry on top, when you click on the link in the description below to get the tool, you will also get my resume and cover letter templates to help people like Muhammad get a full-time job that pays over $78,000 a year. If you want to cut the job search time in half, get this cover letter builder in the description below this video. Feel free to ask me any questions in the comments below, subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you next Sunday. And now I recommend you watch this video next to learn how Irvin's PGWP was refused.